Ooh, those Sunday vibes, huh? It's nice. This feels like a hang. It's a casual hang. Maybe some of you are this is church. Like who knows? Who knows? I'm excited. I'm just excited. That's the only reason we did this morning. I woke up and I was like, I'm excited. I can't wait until tomorrow. We had 4 fun games yesterday. And it was so good. It was so good. I'm excited to stay up late and watch basketball because it's all good basketball. It's just like the vibes. The vibes all around are fantastic. It's fantastic. Last night's game was incredible. But yeah, I figured we just come hang out. We come hang out, talk about the 4 games, and like get excited, huh? Also, yeah, tomorrow I just created a new stream for tomorrow. We're gonna do the. It looks like the pack drop is gonna happen at 1 p.m. So I think we're gonna fire up a little queue. You know what I'm saying? We'll do a little NBA Top Shot queue for some playoff packs and give away some stuff, huh? All right, who's here on a Sunday morning? We got Sneeps here. We got Keeper Josh is here. Snoop. We got Veronica in the house. Jordan's here. Mac Attack. The gang's all here. The gang's all here. I told some of you on Friday, and I'm going to give you this update. That was our first softball, or my first softball game this weekend, and 2 things happened. We got absolutely lit up, just lit up. We played the team that just they win every week. They're very big. They hit it very far, and we did. We also did pick up an injury. We picked up an injury after getting in a pickle, and yeah, it's just none of it's worth it. There's no reason to leave the house. I recommend everybody over the age of 36 just stay inside. Stay inside, consume the basketball. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Look at pictures of outside. There's no reason to go outside. All right, Jordan said, loving the playoff vibes. Summer's on its way. Hoops are the best. They really are. Yeah, Q Stream's back. Sneep says, as a Celtics fan, vibes are down because we didn't win by 50. I know. Can we go over some Top Shot stuff? Should I be doing anything right now? Kind of been paying attention. Yeah, let's talk about basketball first, because if we start talking about Top Shot before talking about last night's playoff games, that makes us the Top Shot creators that the judge hates. We don't want to be that. We were basketball first, hoops first. That's when Top Shot moons, is when the hoops fans are here. So we had 4 games yesterday, right? Oh, so I think I'm there. It is. That's what's happening. I was like, my mic cord is being a little weird. There we go. This is some behind the scenes stuff. You guys see, you love to see it. There we go. That's fun. That's fun, huh? I'm glad. Aren't you guys glad you saw that? Let's go to the 4 games yesterday. We're going to do them in order. We're going to build up. All right. We're going to build some momentum, because the first 2 games, we probably could have just gotten like a text alert being like, hey, this game's over. That would have been better than watching some of that. And I say that as a Celtics fan. But Brooklyn, dude, Brooklyn like hung to. Did anybody watch the Nets Sixers game? I thought Brooklyn hung a little bit stronger than I thought they were going to. And then it just like, they lose the first quarter by 5 points. They lose the second quarter by 4 points, the third quarter by 3. And it just added up to 20. It added up to 20. They lost by 20. Mikal Bridges, though, just a casual 30. Mikal Bridges, the new SGA. How about that for a take? Where they just, and I don't mean like the same type of basketball player. I just mean they scored 30 points, no matter what the vibe is. They just scored 30. In a loss, they scored 30. In a W, they scored 30. Bridges was pretty solid, though. But, dude, there's just no answer. There's no answer for Embiid. They doubled Embiid, right? So Embiid didn't have a monster game. He had like 26 and 5. They just kept throwing guys at him. Now, that works if everyone else sucks. But if everyone else is playing really well, as people were concerned about the health of Harden, right, going into the playoffs, and James Harden just drops 23 and 13. They also got 21 from Tobias Harris. I can't remember the last time Toby was out there just balling. And then Maxey had like 13 and 6. He was fine. And then even B-Ball Paul Reed, our guy, 11 points off the bench. This feels like a 5-game series. This feels like maybe they take the foot off the gas in one game. Maybe in Brooklyn, where Brooklyn at, the crowd gets a little loud, even though the crowd doesn't really exist. They get a win. It goes back. They close it in Philly in game 5. But this is, they're just so overmatched. They are so overmatched. I think we're going to see that in the first 2 series that we talk about, right? Because in Celtics and Hawks for next, I just think we're not going to see. We'll see some competitive games, but the better team's going to win most of those games. And I just don't see it. I don't see the path forward to the Nets winning a couple of games. And I don't know if anybody else did. I mean, I watched that game. I was in and out on that game. I watched the first quarter and then the fourth quarter, but then I was getting my ass whooped in softball in between. So I just don't see it. And then the Celtics and the Hawks, man, Celtics were up 30 at halftime. I actually saw some of Celtics Twitter just losing their mind, being like, we're really taking our foot off the gas here. And it's like, guys, it's okay. We're not trying to go nuts here. Just get the W. One thing to note for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown's hand opened back up after he broke or 5 stitches for breaking a vase. Do you say vase or vase? What do you do? Vase or vase? I think I'm a vase guy, but I feel like if you're from Boston, you just say vase, you're fucking vase. But yeah, Voss or vase. Let me know in the chat. We'll do a poll, Voss or vase. But yeah, so Jaylen Brown said they're reevaluating his hand today. I imagine he's fine. I imagine he's going to be fine. But the Celtics just dominated. Tatum with 25 and 11. He still somehow played 40 minutes, which feels silly. Derek White had a really good game, 24 and 7. Jaylen Brown had 29 and 12. Robert Williams was awesome. I mean, he had 12 and 8, but he was just awesome off the bench. And everybody played well. What was interesting, 8-guy rotation. So an 8-guy rotation, they started Tatum, Horford, Smart, White, and Brown. Sammy Hauser played 11 minutes, but really the 2 bench guys. So it's really like a 7.5 man rotation. Robert Williams played 22. Malcolm Brogdon played 21. Man, I'm excited for the Celtics team. It's hard. I think the Hawks are pretty bad. I'm not really worried about them, even though Sean Packer Bueing tweeted out that you got to watch out for those. Shouldn't be too excited. You're playing playoff ice tray. He's a cold killer. He shot 5 for 18 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, 16 points, 8 dimes. DeJounte had 24, 8, and 6. That's it. A couple guys had double digits, but I don't think anybody cares about those games, right? I think we were just kind of like, all right, it's a wrap. Let's get into the good stuff. The Cavs and the Bing Bong Boys. All right, listen, I think people aren't understanding my nuanced take here with Donovan Mitchell. I think my Donovan Mitchell take gets misconstrued as to Donovan is bad at basketball. And that is not what I'm saying. I think Donovan is top tier, all NBA guard, first team. I think he's really, really good at basketball. He's a killer, gets buckets. My point was no one has better scoring performance games while picking up playoff L's than Donovan Mitchell. And I'm not saying the loss last night was his fault. I'm saying it's another example of someone balling out in an L in the playoffs. That was my point. The real issue in that game on the Cavs side of things, I mean, the Knicks won that game. I'm not trying to say the Cavs lost that game. The Knicks played very good basketball. Jalen Brunson, who was in foul trouble most of the first half, he only played 30 minutes, ended the game with 27 points. Randall, who we weren't sure if he was going to play. He played 34 minutes, had 19 and 10. They got 17 and 10 from Josh Hart off the bench. Josh Hart is awesome. Josh Hart is such a dog. He's great. RJ Barrett, another bad game, 2 for 12 shooting. Mitchell Robinson, didn't do too much. Played 26 minutes, 6 points, 8 boards. But what really killed them, so Donovan, 38 and 8. He finished with 38 and 8. Garland had 17 points, but I don't think scored like the entire fourth quarter or something like that. Jared Allen with 14 and 14. But what really hurt them, Evan Mobley, who played incredible defense throughout most of the game, 8 points and 11 boards. The problem was he went 4 for 13 from the field, and he missed just bunny after bunny. We actually saw something similar in the late game with Sabonis, Sabonis had a tough time around the rim. And Mobley was getting good looks. They were contested takes, but they were good looks that he should have hit. And the Knicks were just kind of in control. It was one of those things where you see a team that's been down like 10, 12, 15, whatever, and then constantly has to make these strong runs, and they get it within like 2 to 3 points, maybe even tie the game. But they spend so much energy getting to that point that it's hard to get over the hump. And that's what we saw last night. They just they couldn't get there. Again, the Knicks are up 6 at the end of the first quarter, up 5 at halftime. Then they were up 8 going into the fourth quarter, and then ultimately win by 4. And I think they were just constantly chasing. This series has lived up to exactly what we wanted it to be, right? It is going to be good for, I think, 6 or 7 games. I expected this, in Cleveland, it to go 1-1. That would be my guess. That Knicks steal a game. I thought Cleveland would win game 1. Knicks would feel like their backs are up against the wall, would have to win game 2. And then it would be spicy once we get to Madison Square Garden. And that is not what we saw. Knicks went in there, stole the first game. It was awesome. Awesome to see. It's making me think I got to get to the Garden for one of these games 3 or 4. But yeah, it'll be fun. This is one of my favorite series. But enough of that. This was all window dressing to get us to the last game of the night. This was awesome. This was awesome basketball. I mean, it just lived up to the hype, man. I think it makes me wonder, and the way Mark Jones for ESPN called the game, he was kind of being like, hey, you know what? Most of the nation is seeing the Kings for the first time. He's like, if this is your introduction to De'Aaron Fox, he's been doing this all season long. For those that don't know, Mark Jones is the normal commentator for the Kings local broadcasts when he's not doing ESPN games. So he loves them Kangs. And I thought they did a great job on the call, by the way. Mark Jones and Doris Burke. I love that combo. I'm done with Hubie. I think Hubie can retire. I'm glad Hubie's living his life. I'm sure he's having a great time. I'm done with Hubie Brown. I don't really need it. He did have something that really made me laugh. Somebody took a shot. He's like, that's not a good shot. And I like that. I like that he's mean, but I'm done with Hubie, I think. Anyways, just some stats quickly. So Steph, after getting off to a really slow start, I think he had like 17 points going into the fourth quarter, maybe something like that. Finished with 30 and 6. Clay had 21. Dante DiVincenzo only had 10, but it felt like he had a lot more. And then they got 17 from Wiggins off the bench, played 28 minutes. Mitch missed a clutch 3 down the stretch when they were down 2 at a wide open corner 3 that bricked. Jordan Poole finished with 17 off the bench. But De'Aaron Fox was a dog, 38 and 5, and he was just fourth quarter bucket after fourth quarter bucket. It was threes. It was like we saw 2 possessions in a row. Steph Curry hit Sabonis with just such a beautiful hezzy that then finished up at a tough finish at the rim. And then the next time down, Fox gave the same business to Clay. But Fox was just putting on a show, hitting him a bunch of different ways. He had 38 points. And then Malik Monk, man, though they combined for 70 points. 70 of the 126 came from Fox and Monk. And Monk did it in 29 minutes, 32 points in 29 minutes. They get some big minutes from Trey Lyles off the bench, too. It was, oh, man, it was so good. And I just think that this series is going to be legit. And I think the war, like everyone, and I said this on Friday, I think everyone treats the Warriors, the Heat were like the poor man's version of the Warriors. And what I mean by that is the way that we talk about them. Like we were talking about the Heat like they are the team that were one shot away from the finals last year. A couple years ago, lost to the Lakers in the finals in the bubble, right? And I think we're doing that with the Warriors right now. And again, it's not a same one-to-one because the Warriors still have all these incredible pieces. But there's like a full season now where they've shown us that they're not. It's not that they're not good, but they like have some serious leaks in their game, and we saw it happen again on the road, where some sloppy turnovers, some weird execution, and like that's not to take anything away from the Kings. The Kings are good. The Kings are really good, and man, the energy in there was awesome too. The vibes in Sacramento. I mean, it was. But I just almost thought I was having a seizure. I was like, where was that coming from? Veronica was saying, I'm just feeling blessed last night. They love Doris Burke on the broadcast. Yeah, Doris is great. Josh was saying, if you think about it, it seems like a lot of great players that didn't win a ring score a lot in the playoffs but lose. Iverson, McGrady. Do you think Pete Donovan will be better than Pete Kyrie? Whoa. I mean, it's tough, right? Kyrie. Wait, you guys don't have audio right now? Oh, I wonder if it's when that happened. Sorry about that. That's a great question. I think, man, I mean, Kyrie hit that shot. That's the thing. Like you can never take that away from him. He hit one of the biggest shots in Cleveland's history, right? What is that happened? Sorry, guys. Hold on. All right, there we go. It happened again. I man, to say he's better, I feel like we need more of a sample size. We need more of a sample size. It's still a long way to go. That's a great question, though. That is a great question. Is Monk the best offseason addition? I'm sorry. Is Monk the best addition this offseason? Um, yeah. I'm trying to think of who else was even moved around. Probably. Lakers sure could use him right now, huh? Lakers sure could use him. But yeah, just that was such a great game. I'm so excited for that series. I mean, and that felt like what I was saying about Golden State was slanderous. And I think Golden State is still really good. And this is probably going 6 or 7 games. And if you told me that Golden State wins, like this was the hardest series that I had to pick. And it just felt way too disrespectful to the Kings. And I know the arguments around, right? They don't play defense. It's a straight offensive team. It is, what's the other thing? Oh, none of them have playoff experience. I was listening to, I think it was Brian, the Hoop Collective on the ESPN podcast, Brian Windhorst and the gang. And they were mentioning something that the Kings defense is considerably worse at home than it is on the road. That they were actually, I think it was like a top 10 defense on the road. And now I'm wondering if I heard that incorrectly, but they were like 29th at home and like really good on the road. And I think part of that is because of their offense is just incredible at home. shots just go down. Everyone feels a little bit more comfy. Shots go down. So they probably can take the foot off the gas a little bit, or like the style of play that's happening is up and down. And maybe on on the road, it's not the case. So, anyways, I agree with Tesla. Pump for the Kings fans. Still think it's going to be a long series. Absolutely. I mean, I do. I like. There's no doubt. The Warriors could absolutely go out and win Game 2, and then the narrative switches back. Like, damn it, the Kings are now 1-1, but it's going back to Golden State. But they have still only won 11 road games this entire season. That didn't change. So everybody who was like, "Oh, regular season doesn't matter," I mean, I do think they have a road problem. I do think the Warriors have a road problem. Oh, we got Sam Oglesby in the chat saying, "What's up? Harden showing up. 76ers coming out of the East." All right, Sam. Harden did show up. I was nervous, man. We can go back to the Sixers series for a second. I was nervous about Harden's injury because he did not look great the last like 2 weeks of the season. And I was like, man, if Harden needs to be good for the Sixers to make a real run. And if he is good, I do think that changes the dynamics of the East. I still think the Celtics are better than the Sixers. I think that's a tough matchup for Philly. But I think Philly's legit. Like, I don't think this is normal Philly. Like, I think Philly is a legit shot. But I think I would still take Boston. Boston just addressed the thing that was the problem for them, right? Like, when you think about last year's playoff, they had nobody to like steady the ship in the fourth quarter. They had nobody who could handle the ball, and then they grabbed Malcolm Brogdon, and that is what brought. And Brogdon only played like 20 minutes, but I think in those types of games, somebody like our friend Malcolm Brogdonovich, that makes a huge difference. Harden has a real redemption season in line for another payday. Yeah, he's been great. This might not be possible, but for the playoffs, can you have less spoilery thumbnails for late games? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Why did my light the beam? Did that spoil it for you? Did the light the beam thumb spoil it? But yeah, I can definitely do that. I can focus on the 7 o'clock games. So for today, right? We have 4 games today. Can somebody tell me why it doesn't start until 3? Can we have a 1 o'clock start, please? There's no reason to start a game at 10:30 on Sunday night. If anything, do it on Saturday night. Saturday night, everybody's vibing. We're out. We're balling. Sunday night. Anyways, this is a Sunday schedule though, right? So we start the day. Also, Neil Diamond, redemption, you say? We start the day. What do we got? I'll only pull up the phone here. So we got Lakers and Grizz, I believe, at 3. Is it 3 or 3:30? Probably 3:30. Let's just make it as late as possible. Assholes. All right, so no, 3 o'clock, Lakers Grizz. I'm very excited about that one. 5:30 Heat Bucks. I'm probably not going to watch that one. I'm just going to sit this one out. I think I don't need to watch. I'm sorry, if Stan and Veronica in the chat. I know you big Heat bros. I think I'm going to sit this one out. Just kidding. I'm going to watch it. There's nothing else on. 8 o'clock, Clippers Suns. All right, Suns in 4. Nah, Suns in 5. Kawhi will get 1. By the way, it did come out. Paul George not coming back in this first round. Definitely not in the first round. So. Even if it goes 7, sounds like it's not coming back. But then 9 o'clock, Succession. I got to fire up some Succession. All right. And then 10 o'clock, Barry. Barry's only a half-hour show. That's beautiful, right? So Succession, Barry, and then bang, Nuggets and Wolves, which I know it's a 1-8 seed, but no one believes in Denver. In Denver, like, this is going to be an offensive just shit show. I think that, and I mean that positively. What's a positive shit show? Just a clean stool. We're going to be up and down. Jokic on Rudy, which everyone gets excited about. But if you look at the stats over the years, Jokic cooks Rudy. So that will be a fun matchup. Jamal Murray, playoff bubble Murray. Maybe we get a little bit of that. We'll get some Ant-Man. As much as I love the Thunder and I think they're fun and SGA's fun, I think this is going to be a more fun matchup together. Like, I think Minnesota could steal a game or two. No doubt. No doubt. Playback today. Yeah, we're going to fire it. I'm at least doing it. I can't remember what Sneeps and Weisberg's schedule was today. But I'll be there for the first game and then maybe the last game because I'm going to stay up late tonight. Also, speaking of that, right, just in case we had a couple of noobs in the chat, we'll have this is what we're doing, our schedule tomorrow, baby. The NBA bit back at 9. We'll cover yesterday's action and then today's action and then that night's stuff. And then at whenever, I think it's going to be at 12:30 because I think the drop's at 1 o'clock. But I don't know if so this is my problem with the show tomorrow. I don't know if the NBA Top Shot playoff drop is happening. Like, I know it's at 1 p.m., but I don't know if the queue starts at 1 p.m. or if the drop is happening at 1 p.m. Either way, we'll start the show a half hour before. We'll start the show a half hour before, and then we'll hang around. We're going to give away a couple of packs. Just old school Q drop. You know what I'm saying? Then it's 7 o'clock, and you're like, Mike, you normally don't do a Monday night show because it's live before. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is gonna be a 4 show day. At 5:30, live before lock for some So Rare content. But then at 7 o'clock, we're gonna do a Barry recap show. So if you are Barry fans, I know we're like small, we're getting our Venn diagram of people who watch the show getting smaller and slower and slower, smaller and smaller. But Steve from 89 Cavs is gonna jump on. We're gonna talk about the show. And we're gonna have a couple of fun bits for it. We're gonna do that every Monday. Every Monday at 7, we'll have or it's gonna be called Barry's Boys. The Barry Boys, Barry's Boys. I don't know. We'll workshop it. But yeah, that's so 4 shows tomorrow. So which is stupid that I'm doing a show right now because that means we're gonna have nothing right here. We're gonna have nothing in the throat. But yeah, there we go. So that's the content for tomorrow. Neil saying I wanted the Thunder to advance, but Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World just isn't ready. There we go. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, people were asking about playback too. In case anybody doesn't know what that is, playback. We just watched the game. We watched the game together. So I'm gonna drop a link in the chat right now. It's free too. You just connect it to however you watch the games already, right? So if it's like Hulu or YouTube Live or YouTube TV or like your cable package, whatever it is, you just link it up and you can watch too. If you do Succession talk, I can trick my wife into watching Zakarian. I know. I wish. Oh wait, I didn't drop the right link. Sorry about that. Let me do the link again. I can't. I don't know. Maybe we can do Succession. Maybe we'll do like a mid-season Succession thing. The Barry is a show on HBO. It's with Bill Hader. It's with Bill Hader. It's the last season. So I'm a Bill Hader stan. Barry is basically a less cool version of Agent 47. How dare you, Sneeps? How dare you, Sneeps? Nothing is less cool than Bill Hader. Was there any other talking points from yesterday that we needed to like hit before we get out of here? I figured this would be a smaller, quicker show. Really, I think if you're the Kings fan, you're like, hell yeah, we got the W. We're real. We're legit. This is going to be a series. And if you're the Warriors fans, you're like, yeah, this is a 7-game series. We've been here before. They won at home like they were supposed to. They held serve so far for the first game. But the Warriors definitely like their defensive intensity earlier in the first half. Like I thought Draymond was incredible on the defensive side of things. Looney too, man. Looney is a force. I thought Sabonis, Sabonis had a tough game. I forget what his final line was. Like he had a ton of rebounds in the first quarter, but he just had a tough time finishing at the rim. And some of it was just like the touch wasn't there, like the shots weren't falling. But man, Looney is just a freaking like wall. And it reminds me last year in the playoffs, I don't know, in the Western Conference Finals against the Mavericks, Luka kept running some pick and rolls to get Looney on him because you think that's a mismatch. And then like time and time again, it was just Luka taking a step back three. And I was like, man, maybe Looney is that guy defensively, and you shouldn't be. That's not the matchup you're looking for. And then the Celtics series in the finals, we saw Tatum and Brown do the same thing, where they would call up the guy that Looney was covering for the screen, and then Looney's on him, and then Looney would stop them too. And it just like I think he's one of the most underappreciated guys. He played all 82 games this season too, which nobody does. Anyways, I just to give a Looney a little bit of love. And I think if Sabonis, they're going to need Sabonis, especially on the road. And it wasn't like Sabonis had a bad game. He just couldn't finish. But yeah, I'm so excited for that series. What do we have on Monday for games? I forget because I know there's some teams that played on that don't play again until Wednesday, game 2. So Monday. All right. Nets Sixers at 7:30, but who cares? 10 o'clock though, Warriors Kings. So game 2, light the beam, 10 o'clock. I'm getting no sleep this week. No sleep. We're getting deep in the bag for the NBA playoffs, as you can see, because we're doing a Sunday morning stream. Even when my body is breaking down today, we're still up here. Why wouldn't the Celtics sit Brown until his hand is fully healed? You know what though? I think I was thinking about that this morning, Tesla, that I wonder if they just give him the break. If they're just like, you know what, Jalen, take this game off. They were like, we got this. So we'll just let Malcolm Brogdon play. Get Peyton Pritchard out there. Do a little triple-double, kid. I wonder if it's one of those things where it's more annoying than anything else. Like, it's not actually getting worse. It's just the stitches opened up, so they got to restitch it again. I think it probably comes down to that. So if it's if it could get worse because he's playing with it, then I wonder if he sits like game 2, or maybe they go up 2-0. He sits the first game on the road because there's usually a longer break between game 2 and game 3 in the first round. So I wonder if they do that. I really do think this Hawks matchup is like really bad for or it's really good for the Celtics. I don't think they're going to have it. I mean, maybe they steal one game. Trey's not going to be this cold the whole time. The Celtics just have so many guys they can throw at Trey, and it makes it hard for Trey to get in his bag. Is Marcus Smart, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, all good defenders. Everybody they're throwing out there is good defender. They have good wing defenders in Tatum and Brown. Here we go. Sneap said I'm fine if Jalen sits game 2. If I get to see some fast pee and Luke Cornett. We might get to see Luke Cornett if they get up 30 again. I would love, more so than Jaylen Brown, I would love if Robert Williams just played every other game as a Celtics fan. Let's just keep him as fresh as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because every time he's out there, I'm still a little nervous. He's got some Anthony Davis light energy. It's some, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I just don't, every time he goes down, I get nervous. Saying this is, Tesla was saying Celtics complete second unit slapped the Raptors. You're all deep crazy this year. I know. That's the thing. I mean, Peyton Pritchard, I think, is like, I don't know if he's a 6-man. Yeah, I think he's like a third guard on most teams in the league. But we got Marcus Smart, White, and Brogdon. It's like hard to get in that rotation. And I mean, Sammy Hauser's been solid. I don't know if he goes by Sammy, by the way. I think that's my Boston slipping through. Sammy Hauser. It's too bad the Celtics don't have game 2 on Monday night, though, because Monday, I believe, is Patriots Day, which means the Boston Marathon is this weekend. And for those unfamiliar, it's like only a holiday in the state of Massachusetts. Everybody gets off of work usually. The marathon starts first thing in the morning, runs throughout the day. It's like a holiday in the city. The Red Sox play at 11, and then normally we get some like Celtics playing the Hawks late at night too, which is really exciting. But I don't think we're getting it. No Celtics game on that night, but it's a beautiful day. Actually, Skeets from No Dunks is running in the Boston Marathon, so. Good luck to you, sir, running the marathon. I know you did one. Did you do I think you did a Portland one or Seattle, something out in the West Coast, in the Pacific Northwest. I wonder if this is I can't remember if this is your first time doing the Boston one. My dad did the Boston Marathon 4 times, 4 consecutive years he did it, and he trained less each and every year. It's very impressive. He trained less but run faster, which I love that. I love that. All right. I don't know. Do we call it there? I think that's it. So just a reminder, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we're back, NBA Bit. In the midday, once I get confirmation, let me see actually if they responded to my message about that. Not yet. I think we're going to be back 12:30 p.m. for that NBA Top Shot Key Drop for a little playoff action. Wait, Sneap said you won a ticket to the game in the Celtics Discord, or just like by being a hot dude? Did you just win it by being a hot dude? The real tradition is everyone around Boston saying how they were supposed to be there when the Boston bombing happened. Well, one of us was there, Boston based. One of us was there. But that is the real tradition. That's a story for another day, but woo, baby, that was some real PTSD energy. I was working at MIT too at the time. So that not only did I have that experience on Monday, but then a few days later when everything else went down, was pretty crazy. Anyone I should be paying attention to the early part of the MLB season? Thoughts on? Oh yeah, dude. So Tampa. You pay attention to Tampa, man. Tampa's incredible because they refuse to pay anybody. The Tampa Bay Rays refuse to pay anybody, and then every single year they're just like in the playoff hunt. It's crazy. I don't have too many playoff takes, but you know what I will share with you right now. You guys know I love the fantasy sports. Speaking of fantasy, shout out John Boy Beats, who took down 5K last night in the what's it called? Underdog, the Underdog Nightly Tournament. It was crazy. All right, what do we got? Has anyone in the crowd wore those Eclipse sunglasses when Cornette is playing? I feel like that would be a great bit. That would be a great bit. I don't know if anybody's done that. Look at this lineup here in So Rare. Right now, we are in 46th place. 46th place. We are in line for a rare tier 3, but what's beautiful about it is I still haven't had my starting pitcher. Luis Castillo throws tonight against the Rockies. I've gotten 2 saves from Jansen, from the Red Sox. Devers dropped a 40 bomb. Mateo with almost a 40 bomb. Pena with an 18 bomb. Ashcraft with a 26 bomb. Santander. So I don't know. We might be, and this is the prize pool. We get some ETH up top, baby. Some ETH, a tier 1 and 2 honey for first place, baby. So we're gonna get after it. We're gonna get after it. Whoa, Sunday show. There we go. Fenny, how we feeling this morning, baby? Fenny was getting after in the Discord. But Fenny, you got here just in time for us to wrap up. So we are going to call it. I need water. We'll call it there. We'll be back tomorrow at 9. If there's any noobs here, make sure you hit the subscribe, like the stream, do all that stuff. This has been fun, guys. I gotta tell you, I'm just so damn excited that we are that it's playoff basketball now. It's playoff basketball. We get to just have fun now. And it's no more garbage, no more garbage hoops, no more 10 game slates. Like this was it. What we got yesterday is the most basketball in one day that we'll ever get for the rest of the season. It's going to be spread out. New Swami's here. He's ready for some Lakers talk. Don't worry. That'll be tomorrow, baby. We are going to be doing, and later today on Playback, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, fire up the Playback. I'll share the link one more time. We need more people in there. We need a vibe. It needs to be a party. I want everybody sharing this when it's time, okay? So there you go. At 3 o'clock Eastern time, we'll watch some Lakers Grizzlies together. I think that to me is the most intriguing series today. I don't really care too much. I think the Suns are going to have no problem. I think the Bucks will have no problem. The Nuggets might have a little problem, but they're going to win. But I'm very excited for that first game. It's going to be fun. All right, go touch some grass, get outside, have some fun, and I'll see you guys at 3 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in. We out. Ooh, wrong. I almost hit the wrong video. All right, we out.